Andy Bennett gone at the game. Is that what we're saying?
Him and Jamie Hughes. Jamie Hughes, who they're saying now.
Who's that?
I'd say over half the field could win with a bit of luck at the draw because of how much great information's out there now. The information's too good.
All the stuff you can watch online really, really helps as a bit of a leveler. People can compete now. And
how honest are you in your videos, Steve?
What I will say is, and I've always believed this, some might say it's a little bit controversial.
Jesus Christ, you don't want to really give that away, Steve. This is not even my cat, you know. Just randomly comes round and has like snacks and stuff.
You lure it in, you liar.
I know. Bless it. How's your week been, boys?
Very good. Yours?
Very good. Got to spend a bit of time with both of you this week. So exceptional, my two favourite people.
Why are you lying?
What you been up to? Steve, you been on the river barbling again?
Yeah, I went barbling. Obviously, I had a brilliant week with Jake the week before.
Yeah.
I went on my own because I wanted to catch one.
And how did that go for you?
It didn't go great, to be fair. Conditions weren't very good. So as you can sense, there's a few excuses coming.
Mm.
Couldn't get in the swim I wanted to get in because the only bloke there when I got there was already in it. Fished for like 4 hours in one swim, never had anything. Moved to another swim, snagged solid every cast. And then moved back to my original swim and finished the day with a resounding blank.
Well, at least it happened.
Is Jake back from school? Can we ask him how his session went?
He's not back yet, thank God. But yeah, Jake's actual words were, that's what happens when you go without me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you managed to snurtle a few out, Roon, didn't you, though?
Well, yeah, we snared a few out, didn't we, at home on, when was it? Wednesday, did we go?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday, yeah. We obviously took the superstars, Barry, Hearn, David Seaman and Jess Harding. We sort of gillied for the day for him, helped her out. Not that David Seaman needs much help in his angling ability, but there's one thing for sure. He's quickest on the rods. First rod that went off, he picked up and caught that barbel there, just into double figures. Absolute cracker. Barry had one as well. And then it went really quiet, didn't it? Had a right struggle up for a while. And then we caught a couple of chub. They were pretty impressive.
I was going to say, Steve, I know you like a bit of chubbing in winter. You should have seen these things that we caught on Wednesday. We had one £5 tenner something, and we were like, flipping heck, that's a big one for Trent. And it was hollow as well. It weren't fat.
Yeah, they're not that heavy this time of year normally.
Well, then we had another one, 6'8".
Yeah, that's 6'8".
6'9".
6'9" even. That could be a 7 come, don't know, February.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think it will be.
It was good. Well, Jess had caught the 5'10" or whatever it was, weren't it? We're like, that's like nearly a specimen, massive fish. He's PB, and then Seaman just goes and catches a 6'9". It was unbelievable, weren't it?
Yeah, frightening. I tell you what,
but it was a hard day.
It made me think, because that little bit of river we go to down near the weir, it's so many big fish live there, but yet it was such a tough day to catch them. We caught a couple of barbel, couple of chub, couple of bream, but normally mild weather you catch so many more. But I had a look at the air pressure, and it was like 1,031, and I think it's something that as match anglers we probably don't look at enough. And I know, speaking to people like Gary Newman, Joe Carras, and who do a bit of that big fish fishing, air pressure is so important to the real specimen fish actually feeding in it.
I think the problem we have though is we've got set days to go fishing.
Yeah.
So like they look at weather conditions and then pick their days. It's like I knew conditions were going to be terrible Wednesday on the Trent, wrong tide, obviously high air pressure, but it was the only day I'd got a chance to go. So you're going anyway, and you have to make the best out of maybe a bad job. And it's the same with matches. You can't just say, we're going to rearrange the match. It's high air pressure today.
Of course you can't.
But I guess the only thing you can say is that the fishing's not going to be as good. So maybe you can tailor your approach, change a few things, and obviously to try and pick fish off. Because whenever the air pressure seems to be high, the fish seem to like to be off the deck. So you can always take that into account.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing I'd say is the winner of the match in those occasions always says it's pretty good.
Very fair.
But yeah, what happened to your Bank Holiday Friday, Steve, if you only managed to go Wednesday?
Bank Holiday Friday. I can't remember what I was doing Friday now, to be fair. But all the days are blending.
You have a long weekend,
busy,
don't you?
the days are blending into one.
I'm gonna go in early.
Friday, I was at Western Pools working.
Grafton he was on his day off.
With Godfrey.
Yeah, to be fair, he did a great job. Can't say too much more about what we were doing there, but it's a very cool project that everyone's going to see in the spring. I think
we got to see Christian Jones as well, the long lost Christian Jones.
He's back, isn't he? He's back.
He's coming back, he said.
Bless him.
Brilliant.
I'm going to come straight
I look forward
in.
to that.
Obviously, last time we had so many comments and the interaction from the viewers, the listeners, even people just seeing stuff on social about the weigh-in was mind-blowingly good, and we want everyone to get involved with it. I think a lot of people appreciated a little bit of edginess and the honesty and putting our opinions across a little bit firmer than maybe people do on social media. So I want to go straight in with a few of the comments and questions. Every week we'll do this, and anyone whose question we read out on here, want to send them a little gift from Guru. At the minute, we've got some really nice new winter beanies coming out. So the 3 questions that get read out today, I'm going to send everyone one of the new beanies. So if your question gets read out, please email info@tackleguru.co.uk with your name, address and phone number, and we'll get you one of the new beanies sent out.
You're just going to get loads of people email now for a free beanie out.
The idea is,
donut.
if you've got the phone number, you can ring them and make sure it's them.
Very good.
Or report them to the police if it's not them.
I think you two might need beanies this winter.
We might.
I'm well past it.
Yeah.
I think Matt's next.
Don't know about a beanie, more like a transplant.
It's a hat.
I wouldn't
I'm
recommend
sure
going on any fast motorbikes.
This is a good one from Andre Percio, which is a great surname and definitely sounds Italian.
He's made that up.
Andre Percio, it's probably Frankie's brother or something. He says, with commercial fishing getting more and more popular all over Europe, could you ever see a commercial world championship? Steve Ringer.
I guess that was what freestyle, obviously, to a degree. Freestyle World Championship, for those that don't know, it's basically method, hybrid, pellet feeder fishing. So that's very commercial based.
Proper fishing.
I can't. I'll be honest, I think there's too many World Championships. Although obviously I fish 1, maybe 2 a year. I think there's too many now. So, and I think by having more, you're diluting the effect of the ones that are going on. So I personally wouldn't want to see any more. And I can't see an out and out like what rules would you fish to? You know what I mean? Like, would it just be everything goes on commercials? And then what venues have you got? There aren't that many venues that can hold, particularly commercials, that would probably have to hold 150 pegs.
Yeah, at least. I'd love to build a venue suitable. It'd be wicked, wouldn't it?
That's the only way I can see that sort of thing can happen, is if people build specific venues.
I mean,
accommodate.
Is there a rule whereby a world championship has to go through a certain organisation to be arranged and to be classed as official? Because if not, we could just invent one. We could just dig a massive venue or invent and run a commercial world championship. Is that something we could do, or would there be legalities involved?
No, I think you can start your own, but obviously then you wouldn't have FIPS, SIPs. Obviously, it wouldn't be regulated through them. It probably wouldn't go down very well with them either. But obviously that European Feeder Cup that I'm fishing next week in Belgium, that's not a FIPS or SIPS event. You know, basically it's almost become now the European Feeder Championships. So I don't think there's anything to stop you organising your own event, and obviously you never know where it might go.
Is that the thing Lee originally did at Barston?
Lee started it off at Barston.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've had we fished Barston, and then we've had, this will be the second year we've been in Belgium. They've sort of adopted the big venue where I filmed with yourself and Frankie, Matt.
Yeah, it looks cool there, to be fair.
that's like the home venue for it now. And I think there's 12 teams fishing next week. So the idea was that possibly that would grow and become a European Championship. It's still going steady, but I suppose some would argue it hasn't grown massively.
A few people watching that video, weren't there, this week?
Might be now. I'm going to check the views.
There'll be a link in the comments below, folks. Get on it. That leads us on, to be fair, talking about international style events. Did you see what happened with the England youth team this weekend?
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't know anything about it. I saw Sam's post. It looked mega, to be fair. They did well, didn't they, the boys? Look at them.
Absolutely smashed it. It was the Youth Nations Games, which, considering what we spoke about last week and the lack of international fishing styles and events for people to get involved with, I thought, what a coincidence that them lot are heading out to Holland to fish this Youth Games situation. And it was actually 10-man teams, which I think is fantastic, under 25s, and it's all about getting young internationals together, and plenty of them, to fish to international rules, do a little bit of mixing, exchange some ideas. You know, our lot going to France to do some bloodworm and joker fishing, big canals in Holland. And the fact that it's 10-man teams means these more people get to go and have a little shot at it and do that kind of fishing. And they absolutely smashed it. They won it. It was a day's practice on the Friday and 2-day competition, full international rules. And I just think it's fantastic that, you know, we've got 10 people there. The oldest we sent was only 22, and we had 4 16-year-olds there. So
one thing I'll say there, and you can answer me this now, Matt, how many of those came through the pathway in that team?
Let me have a look at that picture again, Tobes, and I'll tell you. So obviously Tommy Higginbottom, pathway, Alfie Sweeten, pathway, Billy Kirk, pathway, Josh Derry, pathway, Zach Brotherton, pathway, Lewis Bray, I can't remember Lewis on the pathway, Barnaby Bagger, the better brother Newman, pathway, Josh Duffy, pathway, Alfie Nichols, pathway, and George McHugh, pathway. So at least 9 out of that 10 came through the Angling Trust Tackle Guru Talent pathway. Maybe 10 if Lewis is an anomaly or not. Not sure.
Which is great, because then it's serving the purpose you want it to serve.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think we talked heavily about this last week, but it's amazing that they're getting the experience in Europe, because all of them will tell you there's no substitute for that experience in Europe. And the more they go, the more used they'll get to international rules. And obviously then you should be able to create the pathway between, I think it's like under 25s, and then eventually breaking into the senior team.
Yeah, exactly. Really, I think it will only be a matter of time until one of them guys or girls that have come through the pathway is in the full team, and it'll be happening in the next 3 to 5 years. I'd make a prediction now, quite easily, maybe sooner.
Cool. I think as well, because they've had a taste of international fishing early, they get hooked on it more. They realise that, obviously, I know some people say it's not the pinnacle, but to me, it is the pinnacle. That it's the pinnacle, and they want more, which is why they stick with it. Whereas if they don't get the chance, maybe to experience it a lot younger, then they're never going to get interested in it later in life either.
Yeah, it just gets harder, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they get support to go there, Matt? Or I know nothing about it. So
no, I spoke to Sam Sim and Jason Kirk, who obviously manage the under 20s team. And
do a fab job at that as well, don't they?
Unbelievable.
The results are like spot on. But
they've had two golds and a silver in the last 3 world champs the under 20s have.
Much better than you've done with the under 15s.
Yeah, but obviously the under 15s is a pathway to the under 20s. Most of the under 20s team they've got have come through the pathway, the Guru under 15. So it's an hard one. Yeah, with our under 15s, it's really difficult because
it is. It's the entry level. I'm winding you up, mate. Don't get aggy about it.
No, it is tough because you feel like
Jason and Sam are doing a better job.
Yeah, you could do it next year if you want. You're more than welcome to.
I'm busy, I think.
You get them to a stage where you're like, these have got it now. Yes, oh, hang on a minute, they've gone at 15. You know, and I wish that we could have them for another year or two to keep them coming back.
You sort of do through the pathway, though, don't you?
Yeah, as much as you possibly can. As much as you can.
No, it's good. I'm only winding you up anyway.
But I think, obviously, England, that event is totally self-funded by the anglers themselves. Jason and Sam take a lead on running it. And England are actually set to host it, she was telling me, in 2027. And she said, speaking to all the Belgium, the French, Holland anglers, they really want to come over and do some commercial fishing, as in, you know, this time of year, where they can catch a load of silverfish, maybe an odd carp or two, and they want to experience that commercial bit of fish meal, ground bait, and the fishing that they see our anglers doing a lot of, which I thought would be really fresh and good, and sort of suggested a few venues to them.
I think Barston would probably be the obvious one. Amazing skimmer fishing, and obviously chance big carp. Yeah, Meadowlands be another one.
Really good. Yeah. Oh, there's a few, isn't there? Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Very good.
It would be wicked.
What a result.
Yeah, well done, boys and girls. Absolutely brilliant, I'd say. I noticed you've had a new film out this week, Stephen Ringer. That looked great fun, that.
Yeah, I went to S-Weight with Alex Wimmer and Joe Saunders. Never been there before. A proper wild venue. One that's, I think, that's up and coming, shall we say. I did notice on the Guru page today when I was going through the comments, someone wasn't very happy that we'd given away secret venue. But obviously, my attitude is that place is a business. It's got great owners. They're being really proactive at the minute. So they want people there. They want to generate some money. So one man fishing on the lake on his own isn't really going to sustain a business. So they were glad of the publicity. And the fishing was amazing. I won't give too much away because there might be some people watching this who've not seen the video. But it was a case of like, too many fish in your swim doesn't necessarily make them easy to catch, which I think a lot of people think when there's loads of fish, they're easy. This was a case of lots of indications at times and not many bites. So it's an interesting watch. That's what I'll say.
Could you have any matches on that kind of venue, Steve? Or because Lake District, I know people have been fishing Windermere, catching a load of fish there. There must be so much water in that part of the UK, completely untouched and untapped, that's full of fish. Like, is there more venues there? Is there match venues there?
That's the only place I've been to up that way. I'd say they've already had some small matches. I think the day before we filmed, the match had been won with about £95 of like mainly skimmers, which is amazing fishing, some decent backup weights. They've had a few matches. At the minute, they haven't got the infrastructure to hold like 50, 60, 70 peggers. The lake's miles big enough. It's just parking, access and stuff. But talking to I think his name was Guy, actually, who runs it. So I'm going to say the guy who runs it. They've got plans to open up more access. And if they do, then I think there's a lot of potential there, for, even if it's just big festivals.
That's wicked.
Cool. You'd like it there, Rue. You've been to Windermere a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, yeah. I watched Steve's video, actually. I thought it was really good. Really good. Place is beautiful. It does look really good. The angler was a bit iffy, but he did all right in the end. Watch it. The other thing, obviously, match fishing wise, that I've seen quite a lot of on social media, some great coverage, was is it the Drenham Winter Pole Champs, even though it's not winter yet, at Tunnel Barn Farm?
Yeah, obviously I saw that throughout the week. Tom Scully, to be fair to him, he does cover a brilliant match. Like the updates and everything. You almost feel like you're there. It's like you're actually refreshing Facebook, obviously in between work, to see what's going on.
Yeah, he does. He does a great job of it, to be fair to Tom. And that event looked fantastic. One thing I'd say is, like, I looked at the top 10 and there were a few different names there as well that I've not seen, but, you know, new people to that style of fishing, a few names that I've not seen in the frame for that kind of event before. Key Marsden, obviously, fantastic angler. He won it. Jimmy Brooks second, Mark Betteridge in third. But I think people like Bagger were there and they didn't get in the frame. And I know we mentioned it when we had a chat earlier this week, Steve, but I think that on that kind of thing and on a lot of matches nowadays, the standard is ridiculously high, and so many anglers have caught up, let's say. They don't seem to be that very tip of elite as much as maybe they were 10, 15 years ago. Would you agree? Or
I'd say maybe 10 years ago there was 10 that could win that. I don't know how many was on the festival. Was I don't know, is it 70, 80, 100?
I think 100. I think 100.
Yeah.
I think.
I'd have said 10 years ago, if there was 100 there was probably only 10 that could win. Now I'd say over half the field could win with a bit of luck at the draw. And I think, and we discussed this, it's because of how much great information's out there now. The information's too good. I honestly believe that. I see that in my own fishing. Like when I went to Ferry Meadows last year. This is a great example. And like for years, we used to slop it up with ground bait, cloud it up, and you'd pull fish from like pegs away in the tow, etc. And it was flat calm, so I could see everyone's feeder going in. And when it was flat, cloud was everything. And after, in about half an hour, I was watching probably 3-4 pegs either side. Every single angler's slopping it up. He's got a rocket on. He's putting sloppy ground bait in, clouding it up. And you look there and just think, where's my edge? My edge isn't there anymore. They're all doing it. They've all watched the video. They've learned from it, took it on board. And I think through YouTube in particular, anglers have improved massively. You know what I mean? Even like little things like when I first started going to ferry, people couldn't cast a lot of them couldn't cast 60 meters regularly. I'm going back a long time now, over 25 years. Now everyone can chuck 60 meters, 70, 80, same at Boddington.
Yeah.
100 meters is, don't get me wrong, it's
better as well, isn't it?
chuck, but it's not the monster it was because people have watched videos, they've had lessons, and everyone's up their game. And like the little edges with like goo and stuff like that, everyone's doing virtually the same thing. So my honest opinion is we've all been caught up a little bit, and it's harder and harder now. It's like when I do a video, I always feel like you've got to give a couple of things away to make the video worth watching. And I've always had that mentality, but obviously each time you give something away, it's one less edge that you've got going forward. And then it almost becomes, I think the only edge you've got is on the box, thinking faster than those around you.
Yeah, which you're brilliant at.
Yeah, I'll be honest and say I think some people can just think fast, and sometimes you can't explain decisions, but you just know they're right, and it just happens. And I think when you're sharp, I think it's even better. But as I was talking to Christian Jones, who we mentioned earlier at Western on Friday, everyone says going fishing all the time. Obviously, you can't beat those full-timers, they're blah, blah, blah. But equally, like you talk to Christian, and he admits it's like, I do think, and I've had this in my own fishing, you burn out. So if you're going fishing solidly for like 2 weeks, the first week you're, don't know, a 7, 8 out of 10. Second week, like you're a 9, 9.5, because 10s don't exist. And then the third week you drop. Most people, I think, drop off because you can't sustain it. You become a bit stale. Your prep's not good enough, etc., etc. So like, I think everyone needs a break. You know what I mean? Me and you talked about it, Matt. When you've had a big event or something you're really building up to, I think afterwards you need like a week, maybe 2 weeks off, recharge and go again. And I think that's what a lot of people just think going fishing all the time is, don't get me wrong, it's great. But it doesn't necessarily mean great results. Christian is honest and said he's burnt out now. He felt like he's gone a bit stale. But when he comes back, he's had a break. I've done a few things outside of fishing. He'll be straight back. You know what I mean? I don't doubt it, to the top of the tree. But I think everyone needs a break. I read Andy Bennett's report after Tunnel. Came straight from Whiteacres. Said at Tunnel he made some really poor decisions that cost him framing. And he put it down to the fact, like, too much fishing. And I think he's right. There is such a thing as too much fishing.
I think he's losing it, to be honest. I mean,
well, I didn't want to say that.
And messed up at Tunnel now, so it's a common theme, isn't it, really?
I'm getting a bit fed up of his excuses.
Andy Bennett gone at the game. Is that what we're saying?
Him and Jamie Hughes. Jamie Who they're saying now.
Who's that? I never heard of him.
No, I think the fact is, 10 years ago, if those two had been at Tunnel for a festival like 100 Pegs, they'd have both been top 5. And, it's no criticism of those two that they're not. It's just the fact that the bar's gone even higher. And let's be honest, you need to draw as well.
Are people like yourself and you as well, Adam? Are you to blame for the standard getting higher and events being harder to win because of the information that you've put out there? You know, are we making anglers too good now? And have we really affected the standard of match fishing with the information that not just us, but other companies that make fantastic videos with great anglers are putting out? People like Paul Holland doing his own thing, Lee and Rob at The Edge putting amazing information out to people. They can subscribe monthly and get literally top information from top flight anglers at the fingertips. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing for match fishing? What do you think?
Well, it just makes it more competitive, doesn't it? Why not? You know, don't keep it all for yourself. I know people are learning these things, but everything develops on as well. I don't think it's just that either. I think kits made it a lot easier as well. Look at the invention of like a method mold. You know, it was quite a few years ago when we used to go to Whiteacres and a mold didn't even exist. And people like Steve and Alex Bones that could mold a method perfectly had a massive edge. And like feeder rods where you can cast like 60 meters was like unachievable for the average angler 20 years ago. And now, you know, you can get there a piece of cake with balanced tackle, and it's not, you know, you don't have to have top end tackle. You just need balanced tackle. So I think like that, and obviously all the stuff you can watch online really, really helps as a bit of a leveler. But still don't think, you know, your likes of Andy Bennett, Steve, yourself, Matt, you are in an elite league with where you are and your mentality of how you fish. It is a massive edge still on top of that, but people can compete now, and it's good because they get a decent peg. They've got a chance of beating you. So I only think it's a good thing, really. And it's a great way of sharing information, and people are able to enjoy their fishing more. Look at Cole's channel, for example, not match fishing really, but look how much you can learn from that, and look how much it gets people into the sport and how they can enjoy it simply. You know, I don't think you can say it's a bad thing in any shape or form.
What about you, Steve? Obviously competing, you're right in the mix of it all. Is there any negatives from you about the average man or lady catching up with you?
No, not really. Obviously, I don't think there is. All it means is if you're like whoever you are, if you want to stay ahead, you've got to up your game. You've got to work harder, think faster. And I think Roon just touched on it then. Nothing stays the same for very long. It's like if something gets out, maybe, and a lot of people get on it, then its effect gets negated quite quickly. Yeah. So you have to come up with the next thing. And it's the people that keep pushing forward that stay at the top. You know what I mean? No one stays at the top for long without innovating and changing things. And it's the tiny things, as we discussed at Western Pools, the tiny things make a massive difference. And a lot of people, I still think, look for miracles, as in a secret bait or a feeder that's different, etc. When in actual fact, it's like 5 different 1% added up makes a huge difference in match fishing. And the other thing is, you can't replicate someone's brain. I'm a big believer that some anglers are natural, and like you can't teach that natural ability. You can give them all the kit, like Roon said, and they can fish to a really high level, but they can't quite think fast enough or make the right decisions. And but I think, honestly believe only like maybe not even 1% can do that. It's just something, and you can't explain it. Like sometimes I'll make a decision in a match, and I can't. If someone was behind me and said, "Why are you doing it?" I couldn't tell them like a scientific reason why it was going to work. You just feel it, and I think that's what sets maybe that 0.01% apart from everyone. But as for the original question, which I've gone miles off now, I don't think it's a bad thing, because it makes, if you want to stay at the top, which I always do, I have to think more and like push harder to try and come up with new methods to try and change things, because there's still things out there. We're constantly raising the bar.
how honest are you in your videos, Steve? Do you still keep things back for yourself? Because I've been in a position with you where I'm filming you and you're sort of going, well, we could talk about this next. And as an angler, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, you don't want to really give that away, Steve. And I even say it to you sometimes. I'm like, do you want to talk about that? And you go, well, look, if it'll be great for the video, but terrible for me if we do. You know, lots of little things like that. Like, do you still have many of those little secret things? Have you still got bottles of weird stuff in your garage or a certain rig or do you have things that you keep back from everything? Is that still a thing you've got?
No, not really. Like I said earlier, if I'm doing a video, I've done obviously loads of videos on YouTube now. I always feel like you've got to give, to make the video worthwhile, just for Guru producing it and someone to watch it, you've got to give something slightly different and something extra. Otherwise, what's the point of watching it? So, like, you know what I mean? What I will say is, and I've always believed this, some might say it's a little bit controversial, if everyone's copying you as an angler, they've got to do it better than you. And then obviously, I don't know, I don't have a problem with people are copying because they've got to do it better than me. And everyone will be watching now going, what a big head. But if they're copying you, it's hard to beat you because you're the one who started it. So you're already thinking one step ahead. It's when someone comes from a different angle. And a great example of this would be Barston with the Romanian anglers, PVA bag and liquid dip. They've completely transformed that venue to the stage where they're like, them and a few others are untouchable on the venue. Whereas 3 years ago, no one had chucked a PVA bag in for years. So what I'd say is, while people are copying, it's hard for them to beat you. Yeah. And if someone maybe takes what you're doing on board and then tweaks it to suit themselves, then they're pushing it onto a new level.
There's an interesting comment on your video from F-Sway. I'm going to bring it up. Adam Pegg on YouTube. It's about time.
Name again.
Yeah, great name.
That's Rooney's pseudonym.
It's about time you actually opened your mouth. I don't mean no harm by saying that, Steve. You have won loads, but you're being tight in your feeder fishing. Stop being tight on what you know.
Yes, Steve.
But to me, that's a classic illustration without
He's not watching your films before.
That people are looking for the miracle. The attention's in the detail. Got that wrong again. I got that wrong on Friday. The devil's in the detail. Yeah, the devil's in the detail, and that's what I mean. Though everyone wants there to be a miracle, as in, right, you chuck this distance, etc. When it's a combination of loads of little things. So if you watch closely and analyze, all the little things are there, but there's no miracles in fishing. There's no shortcuts.
Basically, Adam, watch it again. That's what he's saying. Get us more views.
Yeah, get some more views. And I just think look for the detail. Look for the detail and read between the lines. I think that's where all the key information is. You know what I mean? And a lot of people gloss over stuff like where to fish. There's a really big part in that video about like plumbing the depth, what you're looking for, finding the right bottom, not fishing too close to ledges, etc. Stuff like that might seem really trivial, but it's a massive part of your feeder fishing, finding the right spot to fish. Like Tamar, going to obviously see got the check behind me. The 2021 walk plan has gone.
How much did you win?
I did win. I don't want to talk about it though.
I said, how much did you win? And where's
15
my
grand.
share? Oh, nice.
But
you're quite tight, Steve. Haven't you hardly ever buy a beer or like when we go filming snacks and stuff like that? You've got all this money you're winning. You never bring anything.
The stars don't pay for their own food, do they?
Well, the key is, Matt, you get a few inside him first, 3 or 4. He'll buy you as many as you want after that.
Right, okay.
But no, what I'd say is like Tamar, just little things like fishing in the right depth was massive. But a lot of people just take that for granted and just chuck out and fish in Pacific, just chuck where they want to chuck. And sometimes it might mean, I always got this saying in feeder fishing, if in doubt, go a bit further out. But a lot of people take the lazy option and think, I'll come 5 meters closer and make it easier for myself. Whereas in reality, you know deep down you need to push yourself further out, but you're worried about the wind getting up. like I say, it's lots of little things. There's no miracles.
Well, look, let's finish that chat there because I've got a few more readers' questions that I want to get in. Obviously, the last one's from Facebook. A couple from YouTube itself. So we had 220 comments already on the last video, which is great. And I will and have been through them all. And there's some great ideas of different topics, but some of them are that good. We want to base the whole show around it. So I've picked a couple here to fire over to you two. Quite a good one here from @Richard Shiner 977. Cracking name, Richard, by the way. And make sure you email info@tackleguru for your free hat. But he's put really good show. Well done. Question, bit controversial, and this is right on topic with what we've spoke about so far in today's show, which is why I want to ask it now is, do you think professional anglers fishing opens should be handicapped when they fish open matches against the normal / club angler? Should there be a handicap system in fishing? Is that a thing we could do? Would it be a good thing? Would it be a bad thing?
Oh, difficult one. I think the peg's the handicap, isn't it? The peg's the handicap, I'd say. Personally, like golf, you're all on the same playing field as such, aren't you? But yeah, handicapping fishing, maybe. But what would you do? Let them start half hour later or something?
You see, to me, this is a real bugbear of mine because like, when I was a kid, I was brought up on the Grand Union Canal. Like Bob Nudd used to come down, Kim Milson, Mark Pollard, England internationals. And all I wanted to do was draw near them and beat them. But now that seems to have gone out of fishing. Like, to me, it's like if you get beat, you have to improve and get better. And back then, there were superstars. Like, say, Bob Nudd used to come down. I was desperate to draw near Bob. Just because, like, sitting next to Bob, even if I got demolished, you'd learn loads. Obviously, great bloke, have a chat at the end. But if I managed to beat Bob Nudd, that's like an amazing achievement. And that's what I think's been lost now. As in, people, instead of going, like, well done, etc., they're just always a full-timer. Same as this, another one of my pet hates, but this is a separate show, is instead of well fished, it's well drawn. You know what I mean? As my brother always says, the fish don't swim into your keep net.
No, I agree. It drives me nuts when people give it it's all right for them. They get all the gear for free, or it's all right for them. They can go fishing all the time. It's all right. They're full-timers. But I think that people making them comments don't understand the sacrifice and the effort and the tough times that those people they're speaking about have been through. People like yourself or an Andy Bennett or a Jamie Hughes, like they'll have been through some right difficult little periods at home where they're going, well, look, I've got to commit to going and doing that series because I need to learn about that style of fishing. And I'm pretty sure the missus, the home life, maybe even kids, they'll have all suffered at times because that person's really putting the effort into going fishing, hours of prep at night, the time and effort that it takes to get to the elite in fishing is never just given to someone. And I think that the handicap system being mentioned here completely removes the need to apply effort that you should have to do to get good. Personally, I just don't think it should ever be a thing.
No, I agree with you totally. I just think
I think it's hard in fishing. Yeah,
I just think some people you're always going to get people that are better. And like you say, what you're going to do? Say you've got a £50 handicap from the start. Let's be honest. I think Ad just said it. The pegs are your handicap as it is. Fishing isn't fair anyway, which in reality is a good thing that it's not fair. You know what I mean? And that's why certain venues get very popular because anyone can win, and anyone that can win then means everyone wants to go fishing.
Yeah.
@Paul Chapman 8309. Again, this is one on the last show from YouTube. Very inform in recent years, this sort of topic and question, and we'll definitely have to base a show around it. He put, great format, lads, thank you. Question for Adam next time. If one of your sponsored anglers was caught cheating, what action would you take? The reason I'm asking this is I honestly believe you seem a very ethical and genuine bloke. You obviously don't know him, Paul, whereas some companies just don't seem to address it.
I missed all that. I was putting some more coal on the Wi-Fi. What did you say again? Sorry.
Do you want me to read it again?
Yeah, sorry, I lost you. Yeah.
It says, question for Adam next time. If one of your sponsored anglers was caught cheating, what action would you take? The reason I'm asking this is I honestly believe you seem a very ethical and genuine bloke, whereas some companies just don't seem to address it.
Well, as long as he was sharing the winnings, I wouldn't mind, to be honest. I'm joking. So if someone was caught cheating, well, it depends what it was and how it was, and if it was obvious, then and it was against the rules and it'd be against our company's, values, they'd be gone. We'd probably get them things where you have to put your arms in and then your head, and then we chop your head off.
Get him in the stocks.
Stocks. We'll probably do that, to be honest. But no, I don't think their life at Guru would be much longer if they were caught cheating. Just there's no excuse for it. So at whatever level. However, there is a few things that could change that. So one of our anglers did actually get caught cheating this weekend, didn't he?
I think shocking. Right.
Yeah,
this young man. There he is. Young
Brandon.
That
isn't Max Verstappen. That is Brandon George. Got lovely white teeth, isn't he? To be fair to him, must be an old picture. He got caught at Tunnel Barn, didn't he? Cheating.
Well, I don't think we can call it cheating.
He was definitely cheating. Cheating.
He just broke the rules and got disqualified, which is different to cheating. Is that fair, Steve?
Yeah, to be fair.
Be fair.
As much as obviously it's fun to ruin someone, at the end of the day, it was just a misunderstanding of the rules, which it just does go to illustrate. If you go to a fishery, you need to read the rules. Because all he actually did to clear it up was he didn't actually. It was a keep net contravention. He didn't actually break the net limit, but the rules are that you have to split your fish with 2 nets. And although he didn't catch a lot either, he put them all in 1 net. And that's what makes it even more funny. I'm not going to name any names. Someone else got disqualified in the same match. And also, at least one person. At least one person in the Drennan match we talked about obviously fell foul of the same rule. So,
come on, Steve, name them.
No, I'm not naming it. I'm not naming them.
Come on, Stephen.
No, Matt's a controversial guy. You'll know who it is.
I don't know who it was, else I'd just call him straight out.
No,
I've got to be honest. What a pathetic rule that is, by the way. I completely disagree with it, and it's down to the fisheries to make their own rules. But
that's you banned from Tunnel.
No, the only thing I'll say is I've always applauded fish. What I like about fisheries is have rules and then enforce them.
Yeah.
So, apparently it's the first rule if you go on their website, so it's right at the top, so you can't miss it. And they enforced it. The problem I've got is when fisheries have rules, someone breaks them, but there's no consequences.
Yeah.
And that always, I just think once you've let one person off, you then can't enforce that rule forever. So, obviously, Brandon might disagree, but fair play to Tunnel. I'm not saying I agree with the rule, but if the rule's there, they've enforced the rule, and if you don't read the rules, that's what happens.
Great argument.
We made him do 10 press-ups this morning, and he's had to make tea all day for everyone. So we've punished him well. So, yeah, all good. But, yeah, I think it's a genuine mistake. Should learn to read and obviously read the rules on the venue. But, very tricky rule because it's very different from everything else. But it's their rules. You should abide by them.
Yeah, and if you haven't caught a lot, it's easy just to think, well, I'll put them in 1 net. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what makes it even funnier.
Don't get any simpler. £60 net limit. If don't go over £60 in your net, don't matter then, does it?
Because I don't know what
still got disqualified.
Yeah,
I don't know what the rule is, as in other than you've got to have at least 2 nets in and split your fish. I heard years ago a fishery near Peterborough. That's all I'll say.
Decoy Lakes.
Could have been, could have been. A decent angler got disqualified for not having an empty net for big carp, even though he had no big carp. So obviously Decoy had rules where officially you have to have your big carp and your F1s separate. So this angler, I can't remember exactly, but he filled his 3 nets with F1s, weighed them all in, and they said, "Where's your carp net?" And he said, "Obviously I haven't got one," and he was disqualified. So to me, that is a nonsense rule.
Yeah,
but that just shows the madness sometimes of keep net rules.
It's a real tough one, and this is definitely going to be another show. So after this, we're not going into it anymore. I think there's some stupid rules out there, but I also think the enforcement of them is very good and doesn't happen anywhere near enough in angling.
Yes. That's my biggest criticism. It's like, obviously I'll end it here, but like fishery pellets. Obviously, I go in the shop, buy the pellets, walk around the fishery, because obviously in my position, your position, Ad's position, you have to be whiter than white, because people can't wait to jump all over you. And then you walk around and find out you're the only one using fishery pellets. So to me, it's either a rule or it isn't. And I think if there's going to be rules, you have to enforce them.
Totally agree. Did you see the little bit of news, as in the big news, whereby they're looking at a proper qualification in schools for angling and countryside? Have either of you seen that?
Yeah,
I've only seen it. Just saw it I saw it appear on Facebook, but I don't know any details about it.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. Wish it was in 25 years ago.
Well, obviously, I know you, Rune, are massively supporting towards young people with everything you do with the brand. What do you think to that? If we managed to get fishing as a proper qualification,
well, I think it'd be amazing. I think it will really highlight and put fishing in on a whole new platform, shall we say? Because it's part of your education, and rightly so. I think like the outdoor element and the mental health side of things, and learning about the beautiful countryside and that we've got. I think it's really important, and not just saying that because we're in fishing. I think it's a great thing. I've always thought that though, with like all sort of like outdoorsy sports. If we can get that on the map, wow, that's amazing. A great result for the Angling Trust, really.
Yeah.
So because I just think we get overlooked so much, and yet everyone we ever take fishing absolutely loves it, and there's so much to learn. It's so diverse at all different angles. Then can only be a good thing.
I've spoke to a few people back end of this year, tackle shops, other people in the trade. I had a conversation with Mick Viles at the weekend about it, and quite a few of them are saying this summer in particular, there's been a lot more young anglers coming through things like tackle shops. Alex at Aston, you were like, there's an obscene amount of youngsters coming to the fishery. Martin at Wickersley, where I go in, really consciously going, there's loads of kids this year, carp fishing, match fishing, pleasure fishing. Like they've seen across quite a few different people that are completely unconnected. People have said they've seen more youngsters coming through. And I had a little phone call chat with Jamie Cook earlier today just to say, what's this all about? It's very interesting. And he made me aware of something that the Angling Trust got going 3 years ago now. And I think it's gone massively under the radar. They did something called the Angling Trust Real Education System. Do you know anything about it?
No.
Exactly.
Being honest.
Which is crackers, but it's basically a primary school qualification or topic/subject, and over 40,000 kids have done the Real Education course sort of thing, which is basically fishing and everything that surrounds it, water quality, the nature, wildlife, all that side of stuff. And they've put 40,000 kids through it so far. And this second thing that we've just noticed and seen in the news, at the minute, it is only a potential, I'm informed, but that is to get it into secondary schools, as in BTECs, GCSEs, and even A-levels, which would be phenomenal to have something in primary school and something in secondary school education. That'd be mind-blowingly good for angling, I think. And, you know, as match anglers, we're often quick to jump on Angling Trust and what they are or they're not doing for our fishing. But I think that work going on in the background deserves massive credit.
Yeah. You might get an A level in bleak fishing.
I might need to go back and resit it.
Yeah, from your recent results, I think you will.
Yeah.
No, but it's brilliant. Really
I think
good.
that's really good, mate, for him. I really, really do. Another question from the YouTube hub. Why does every content creator tell us how simple their tackle bait equipment is and then proceed to baffle us relatively beginning anglers with a load of technical blurb? Carl Smith is possible exception. He pitches it right for me. This is a great start, fellas. Keep it up. So basically he's saying, why do we have too gooder information out there? Why do we need so much tackle, bait, kit choices? I think that's one for you more than anything, Roon.
Oh, cheers.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, got out of that one as well, Steve, didn't you? Don't know where to start with that one, really. The thing is that, you know, we have to offer that information at all levels, and I think you take from it what you can. And, you know, no one's expecting you to be the next Steve Ringer, but, you know, you can learn from those basic steps. You know, we do start it from a level which is really achievable for everyone. But yeah, I think, again, it's like, you know, if you want to become a top match angler, you've got to go off your own back and research these things further to learn the discipline at the level you want to learn it at. But yeah, I do understand it. Like, Carl's channel's great. You know, if you wanted to show someone how to start feeder fishing, you'd put them on Carl's channel, not Steve's channel. It's just the different levels of it. But, you know, we're promoting our brand as well and promoting our ambassadors at their level. You know, like Steve doing an entry level how to tie a knot, and that is sort of a bit good for that, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So there's different levels of everything. That's all I'd say. But good question.
Haven't we got on YouTube like a basics little series?
Yeah,
yes, we have.
We have all different things on the channel for all different levels. That's what we're trying to do. But primarily, we're a match fishing brand at the moment. You know, we do a lot of course fishing, and we are doing more of it. But our sort of angle starting from the top and working the other way, whereas I think Carl's is the opposite. But it's just great that all that information is out there, isn't it?
I always think Carl tells a story more than sells product.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? He's not.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
I never think of Carl as being very technical as in his videos. He's not riggy or so. To me, the answer to that question almost is: I get that sometimes you watch a video and you can be bamboozled when a bloke mixes 5 different ground baits together without really telling you why he's doing it. I get that side of things, but with the other parts, I think you take from it what you need to take from it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think we cover pretty much every level. If you want to be technical and be mega advanced, there's little snippets in every video that you can take out. But equally, if you just want to know how to set a hybrid feeder up, then that's there too.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's loads of information at all different levels, but and you can't do it all, can you? You know, so but there's so much information out there that take advantage of it where you can.
Totally agree. I also think that the people doing the high-end videos are quite techy. They are quite expert. Steve Ringer's not gonna sit there and talk about how to thread a rod up. So enjoy the fact that this guy or this girl knows a boatload of stuff about fishing, and enjoy the fact that they're getting technical and they're telling you loads. That's all you can really do when you're watching a film that's got someone of that level in it.
Yeah, well, someone else sets Steve's rods up for him anyway, don't they?
Of course.
Exactly.
And they do all my Facebook messages and everything.
that was Bob Manser 4189.
Well done, Bob.
Nice one, Bob. Pick me an angler to catch you some autumn F1s. I've got a target of 80 to £100 at Tunnel Barn Farm, which has got to be split between 2 nets, by the way. Pick me an angler to catch you 80 to 100 pound of tricky F1s on an autumnal commercial. Boys, who are you picking, me?
Who's going first?
Adam Rooney.
Ugh, I was first last time. 80 to 100 pound of F1s on a tricky day at Tunnel Barn Farm. Oh, God.
Not Brandon George. He'd shaft them all in one net and get disqualified.
Yeah. I mean, if he can only catch 30 pound of F1s this time of year and a few skimmers, there's no chance you're picking him, are you? Let's be honest. Who would I pick to do that? There's loads you could pick for that. It's really easy, isn't it? Probably anyone that entered that Drennan competition. Who would I pick to do it for me? I'll probably go Paul Holland because he goes there all the time and catches plenty, and he's cool.
Steve Ringer, who's your man or lady?
I'm
to
busy
be honest,
that day, Steve.
I'd go Andy Bennett. I just think
He's gone, mate. He's out of it.
Yeah, no, he's coming back. He's making a comeback. He's had a good sleep after the festivals, and he said he's feeling fresh again. I just think Bennett's class wherever he goes. Yeah, he rested himself on that Drennan festival. But if someone said to me, you need someone technical, a little bit tricky, I just think he's in a class of his own almost.
Yeah. He's quite good, isn't he?
Who'd
you pick, Matt? Who'd you pick, Matt?
Who would I pick for that?
Lee Kerry.
Lee Kerry. Oh, I'd pick Lee Kerry for that. Oh, best friends. Oh, Lee.
I think I'd go with. I'm trying to think like.
Can't be Barnsley.
It definitely will be a Barnsley member.
Do you know, I think for like a tricky, there's going to be a bit of faff and a bit of loose feed. I'd probably pick Des. Shit.
They're shit. Oh, good
Yeah.
shout.
Well, there'd be some moaning done, wouldn't there?
Oh, would there? Yeah, I think Des is good at that. When it's like £80
What,
fishing.
moaning?
Well, I'm moaning, yeah. Did you see what he caught at Tamar at the weekend?
Yeah, £70.
£70, a little fish on a top kit.
700 fish room right up your street.
The old thermos wouldn't get much attention on that day, would it? Yeah, count me out of that one.
With on Sunday, the clocks go back, by the way, so everyone needs to be on it with that. I always love that weekend because you get another last hour in the match on the Sunday. Everything goes darker a little bit earlier.
Yeah, but everyone thinks of it in that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's good though. But that means we're out of summertime, so we're going into autumn. What's your best bankside snack in autumn?
Go on, Steve, you go first.
Bankside snack.
I don't really have snacks, but I love like a toffee latte for the flask. Like particularly like Boddington, where you get about 8 hours to drink stuff, and you almost need 2 flasks. But like a nice posh coffee or even hot chocolate. But I don't really. If someone said to me, "What would you take?" Like a Star Bar Duo. Often have one of them on the side tray, a bit old school.
Duo. I love a Star Bar. Love a Star Bar.
Has to be a duo. No point having it if it's not a duo.
Rune, what you taking? Bankside snack, don't lie, you love them.
Oh, I do, mate. Yeah. I don't know. I'd eat anything, really. As long as I've got a cup of tea to go with it, I'll be happy. But again, you can't... I don't know, I'll be happy with like a custard cream or anything Kinder Bueno is nice. Bourbon, anything. I've picked clothes again, but I'm not going to pick one. What about you? Salad?
Fridge Raiders. I love a pack of Fridge Raiders, mate.
They stink though, don't they? They stink like BO. They stink like BO, they do.
You don't get many in a pack either. You open them up and there's like 6 or 7 in there.
Yeah, that's
you need 2 packs.
Yeah, you do.
I just don't like the smell when you open the packet. Minging.
Great show, boys. Don't forget, anyone who's got any questions for next week, get them in the comments below. Get them on social media. Any topics you want covering. Everyone who's had the question read out this week, send us an email, info@tackleguru.co.uk, and we will send you a prize. Thanks for tuning in. Same time next week.